So what's up, everybody? It's Ruben Garcia, and this is a beautiful day. And today we have Matt Faircloth. How are you? How's everything rolling?
I am excited, man. I'm grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful to be here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and just excited for everything that's been going on today.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Awesome. So if you could tell everyone who you are, what you do, how you do it,
sure,
and all that good jazz.
You got you. Okay. So my name is Matt Faircloth. My company is the DeRosa Group. I am a full-time real estate investor. I've been that since 2005. I do most of my work on apartment buildings. We do some reno on single-family homes, but a lot of our work now and moving forward will be on small and mid-sized apartment buildings.
Perfect. So if you could tell us where all this started for you. The real estate, a lot of people are scared of it. They don't want to enter it. A lot of people think it looks super easy.
Yeah.
And for you, where did all this start?
Yeah, sure. It started in 2003 when I was dating my girlfriend, who became my wife later, who got me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know, like many new real estate investors that I've met over the years that got started in the early 2000s, they got started by reading that book because it's a mind-changing book. Yeah. And that book, absolutely changed the way that I viewed wealth, viewed what my purpose was, viewed why I was here. It's totally inspired me. Right. That, along with Kiyosaki's book game Cash Flow, the board game that you play, we kind of work your way to the rat race, right? Cool. So that just really inspired me, and it got me leaning towards, I really should look into getting some rental properties at first. That was the first conversation I had with myself. So I bought a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, just outside of Philly, $150,000. Mortgage payment was $930 a month. I did like a Fannie Mae, 5% down. So got in for like $4,500 to close, right? Yeah. Mortgage payment was $940 a month. All good. Had 2 of my buddies come live with me in this house. Each of my buddies a piece paid me $500 a month. So I was making $60 a month living there for free. Quick. Right. And at that point I'm like 27 years old living in this house for free. Okay.
Feeling like a million.
And yeah, I felt like I had won the lottery, man.
Yeah,
like, oh my God. Yeah, I had a day job too, right? So I was pulling down like a good income, still working as a traveling sales rep for a company called Ingersoll Rand, right? Got it. So in 2 years of owning that home, I paid off all my student loans, paid off my credit card debt, got myself bad debt free. So I had drunk the Kool-Aid by that point. I was like,
I'm in. You say bad debt free.
Yes.
Because people think debt is like the enemy, the devil.
It's not.
No, not at all. So I love your verbiage there, but I like to go back just a little bit because a lot of people do say it's the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. But what specifically about that book touched home to you?
Trading hours for dollars versus building things for money. Right. Okay. So the not realizing that I could earn a living another way aside from putting in time to generate money, that book turned me onto the possibility of building a business or buying a rental property that could produce checks for me, whether or not I was there to collect them or not. Yeah. Right. And whether or not I put in 4 hours worth of work, I generate a check. I put in 3 hours worth of work, I generate a smaller check. That book turned me into the possibility of just building real assets, because that's what Robert gets into, is about just building real assets, not your home, because it's not an asset. A lot of people call your house an asset. It's not. Right. About just building assets like rental properties, businesses, just things that spin off checks. Right.
So what do you think? Because obviously the majority of people aren't really in that investor quadrant, right? What do you think the challenge is for some of these people to want to move into that? What do you think scares them about that?
About what?
Moving into the investor mindset.
What scares them? Well, there's a lot of what ifs, right? And so I think that like the what if, people tend to what if themselves out of taking action. And I think that goes way beyond real estate investing, probably comes into a lot of the clients that you deal with and stuff like that. And it's like, well, what if this? What if that? What if a freaking rocket ship landed in my front yard?
What if an oak tree landed on your house?
It could happen. It happened to a friend of yours, man. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen, but most of the things, Mark Twain said, I've worried about many things in my life, most of which never happened. Right. Which is a fact in that. So the difference is that acting in the face of fear, there's a great book called The Way of the Superior Man. It's not just for men, but it's a phenomenal book. It has to do with just getting used to fear. Right? That I think some people wait for the fear to go away in life. And the bottom line is that it actually doesn't.
Right.
And that's the little secret to success, is that fear is actually, all it is an indicator that I'm outside my comfort zone.
Yep.
Right? And that I'm not comfortable anymore, that I'm pushing my bubble, pushing my envelope. That's what fear is.
Right.
Now, fear is a good, healthy emotion. It keeps me out of trouble, stops me from getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger,
yep.
you know,
yep.
and is there as a human nature need to prevent us from danger, right?
Yeah.
It's in our blood to prevent us from danger. The problem is fear also will keep you in your cave, you know.
To keep you safe.
Keep safe. That's what it is. Fear is there to keep us safe, right? And that's okay. But if you learn how to mitigate it and not like, you know, you don't have to go and take crazy risk.
Right.
But if you take calculated risk and act in the face of fear anyway.
So how do you use fear as momentum?
I just gotten used to it.
Okay.
I'm just always there. I've been doing what I do for so long that I've just got used to it being there. And I've got used to hang-ups and bang-ups and like getting sideswiped and having this happen and that happen. And just like, I'm not going to effing quit. I'm not. I'm going to keep going. And you can beat me down and you can, you know, shake me up or whatever it is, but I'm going to keep on moving until I make it work.
So would you say the secret recipe is just to keep moving?
Yeah.
No matter what?
Ruben, I've had so much bad stuff happen.
No,
in my
not
career.
in real estate investment.
No, never. I've had like literally millions stolen from us. I've had deals not go through. I've had business partnerships fall apart. I've had contractors steal quite a bit of money from me. I've been robbed and stabbed in the back and had all kinds of bad things happen. But you know what? It didn't stop me. They might have got me, but they didn't stop me.
Right.
You know? And so that's the secret, is keep moving, because I'll mitigate it. I'll work around it. I'll address it.
Right.
I'll keep pumping, you know? And so that's my, you know, response to like, you know, what happens if you're afraid, what happens if this is going to happen? You know, you figure it out.
Right.
You just keep moving.
Exactly.
You figure it out. And you just commit to yourself that no matter what happens, I'm going to figure it out and not quit.
Right.
That's the key to success.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point, right? For you to focus on what if, it's going to take up so much damn time of your action
it's not worth
that
it.
you're going to be stuck.
There's a lot of energy that goes into thinking about what if.
Yeah, 100%. If you've got energy going towards that, why don't you just redirect it, right?
Well, I get it. I mean, it's still good to ask, like, what's the absolute worst case thing that could happen in this scenario? Okay. Well, let's build some safety nets around the worst case thing that could happen. Okay, I buy an apartment building. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, you know, it could go completely off the rails and I have to give it back to the bank. Okay, well, how do I mitigate that? You know, and so you try and mitigate risk. I'm really not saying that just grab your cojones and just go and get in there and figure it out and you'll just get enough fire breathed on you that you'll get successful eventually. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to take calculated risk and think about what could happen. Do your best to mitigate that and then take action.
Right.
You know?
Would you say in the very beginning it should be more leveraged towards action and not too much of the what if? And as you get better and as you start getting more into investing, your what if starts to get a little bit bigger?
It is, but when you first get started, it's all about the baby steps. Right. It's all about taking the steps that, like, I don't recommend. I know there's a lot of run to the back of the room gurus that for the low price of $10,000 would love to sell you a boot camp weekend about how you can go and buy an apartment building next Tuesday, right? That's awesome. That feels good. There's lots of Ray Ross Boomba that you walk out of that room feeling, but I think that's BS.
Right.
I think that if you want to start real estate investing, you either join a large team that's doing stuff, that's are making it happen already and knows the pitfalls that you could step into, or you do that, or you go and buy a small, like a duplex, single family home, small multi, whatever, right? You do not go and buy a 100-unit apartment complex on your own the first time. I mean, there's a lot of gurus that would love for you to do that, for you to think that you can do that, because then you can pay them $10,000.
Or they could say, oh, maybe you can't, but I'm a syndicator.
Right.
So just bring in the cash and
yeah.
And it'd be like you owned it.
Well, right. Well, that's funny, man. There was a guy that I've seen invest in 2 syndication deals. He invested in a 40 unit and he invested in a 166 unit. And he put in like $50K into each one of them, right? And I saw him give a talk at a local RIA about how he bought a 40 unit and how he bought a 166 unit, right? So
yeah,
it's like, did you buy it?
Well, don't ask them that.
Is that how you did it?
Don't ask them that, though.
Yeah, right. Honestly, if you watch on Facebook, man, everybody's making millions. Everybody's buying apartment buildings and stuff like that. But so we got to be careful in that, because it's very easy to say, I just bought an apartment complex.
Yes.
And everything like that. It just, even though you really didn't, you might not be the driver. You might be a participant. The bottom line about what I was saying about participating in somebody else's team is you could go and work on a syndication team, maybe not invest with a syndicator. Maybe you can do that too.
Right.
But help them find a deal. Right. Help them underwrite the deal. Mm-hmm. Help them raise money. Help them be the day-to-day operator of the deal, because these properties, really the success is in bringing them around, right? Is in operating them and bringing them to the business plan versus just, like people think you get to pop the champagne after you buy it. Like, hey, we're done. We bought an apartment building. Well, now the work begins once you buy an apartment building, right? And that's, so you could be a part of the implementation team. There's a lot of seats on the bus.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah. So I kind of want to jump straight to the apartment, but I don't want to. I want to respect some of the listeners, right? So, and this is me just being curious because I nerd out on this. For you to build that, or for you to play that game, what about that game brought it real to you? Because it sounds like the book brought the thought. Did the game bring the action? Did the game bring the tangible part of it? Were you
the game brought the potential, right? Because in the board game, you move around the board and you start at the game with a day job and some good and bad debt. Right. And, it's kind of like the game of life with, you can get a kid and everything like that, right? You can do all those things. And you land on investments, and you can invest in the property. You can buy a rental. You can buy a duplex. You can buy a multifamily. You can buy some stock and sell it. You can do all those things. And then you just work your way around the board. You clean up some of the bad debt. And eventually to where you get to the point where your passive income exceeds your expenses, right? So maybe you're making $3,000 passive on your investments, and you've been able to whittle down your expenses to where they're $2,000. And now you're able to get out of the rat race, quit your job. Right. Then you go and step on the fast track, which is the next level of the game. And in that level of the game, you work your way around and you're doing much larger deals and you have a lot more money. And your goal is to buy your dream, which could be ski chalet in Colorado for $3 million, or it could be like a big give back goal, or it could be a crazy vacation, whatever it is. You make enough money on the fast track and then you land on that. So it showed me in a game about the possibility of living life differently. So investing in passive income, and then just playing a bigger game. Like, I want to start a foundation. I want to, buy a house on the Caribbean. I want to do, whatever it is. I mean, those are not my personal goals, but but whatever your bigger goal is. And if you're running around the board with a day job, you might not be able to buy the house in the Caribbean. Exactly. To just play life bigger.
So I've never played the game. And I guess what I like about it is that it actually puts you into putting activities out there, like actually doing action and moving forward and getting closer to your goal through passive income. Yeah. I guess that's what I really like about it. For the buddies that played with you, where are they at? Did they get the same?
Let's see. No, I'm the only one that grabbed my cojones and did, do crazy stuff like quit my job and all that. I mean, because it's a whole nother equation. It takes support from family to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about mom and dad. They gave me support too, but I'm talking about my wife, right? When my wife and I got married, her and I both had this game plan that as soon as I got married, I was going to quit my job and we were going to live off of her income. And there's a big delayed gratification that it takes to be successful, I think, in some ways in life. Because I could have taken my 6-figure job, we could have taken her 6-figure job, and we could have bought the biggest house we could afford, and both drove $70,000 cars and, lived the air quote good life, and everything like that, and just lived, high on expenses, but, high on debt, high on expenses, and lived like most of America does, right? We decided to go differently. We bought like half of the house we could afford. We lived below our means, right? So that we could live super lean. Mm-hmm. And that when the time came for me to quit my job, and also when the market crashed in 2008, we didn't have to move. Right. We didn't have to move in with her parents or something like that. Because we were living lean and we were able to live well enough off of her income and weather the storm. Right. So that's what really got me going. I mean, yes, action, but also calculated risk. And also just having a partner that was willing to participate in delayed gratification with us.
Right.
So,
What would you tell the person who has had that conversation with their spouse and the spouse isn't on board?
You got to get them on board. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know any real estate investor that's super successful whose spouse is not enrolled in real estate investing, right? The first and foremost thing you got to do, and it's not about like, hey, let me talk my spouse into real estate investing or let them think that it is. You've got to paint the picture of where real estate investing can take you and say, hey, spouse, I want this out of life. Like this, I see ourselves 5 years from now. This is what life's going to look like, right? And the way I think that we're going to get there is by real estate investing or by building a business, by becoming a super successful realtor, whatever it is. And I want you to be aligned with that goal too. And if the spouse is, great. If they're not, then you might need to change that 5-year goal. Or God forbid, you're going to have a really unhappy marriage. Because you want different things out of life. And I think it's what most people that are unhappy in their marriage don't realize is just simply because you and your spouse want different things out of life.
Just growing apart.
Yeah, man. And if your spouse is not willing to like invest in the same things that you are with regards to that 5-year goal and they don't see the path. So it's not about real estate investing itself, them being passionate. It's about them being passionate investing as a vehicle to get us to here, to where we want to go.
100%.
That's number one. Number two, they've got to be willing to make the financial and time sacrifices that it takes to get us to here, right? Like maybe we delay gratification. Maybe I don't get that brand new car.
But the trade-off, oh my God. It's like, so what I'm going to do is trade my 30-year career for a shitty pension for... This is me just kind of throwing it out there, but 5 years of you won't see me much.
I didn't know I could say shit on the show. That's good.
You can say shit.
Good. I've been dodging it the whole time. I've been wanting to drop.
You were like, yes.
I've been wanting to talk like I know how to talk. Cool. No, good. I love it. I love that you went there first though. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Permission granted. But so that was a big change for me in my mindset was because I worked at UPS, was there for 12 years before I quit. And, great pension, great stock, great, everything that society tells you. But it's like, well, hell, I'm going to spend 30 years in this game. If I decided to put so much energy that I do in UPS into something that I have, could I accomplish it a lot faster and at the level I want to? The answer is yes.
Right.
Of course you can.
If you take calculated risk.
Yes.
If you're willing to delay gratification and maybe not have the Mercedes now, maybe wait a little bit and live a little leaner and eat some ramen noodles for a year or two until you get it all together. And then have a Mercedes for every day of the week, later on in life, and everything like that. So
what do you remember most about that?
What?
That hustle, that grind when you were living lean? What was the good and what was the bad about those times?
The good was having time freedom, right? Like my father got sick. He passed in 2010. And when my father got sick, I had as much time as I needed to go down there and take care of him, to go down there and be by his bedside when he died, man. And I was able to do that because I worked for myself and there was not beholden to anyone. And I was able to run my business from my cell phone, and I had a few employees that were willing to step in and help me out while I took care of my dad.
Yeah.
Right. That was like a big, plus of it. Now, the downside of it was, it caused a lot of stress and strife, and the market turning in 2008 didn't help. It's still an intense activity investing with your spouse by your side, because there's some people, like, maybe I envy them or I don't envy them, for everything, but there is a certain ignorance is bliss and being able to go home and just have your spouse. But I go home and I've got my business partner and my spouse. And so there is a balance in maintaining the marriage and maintaining the business stuff, right? Because when you're married to someone that's committed to the business as you are, it's all in one big Play-Doh ball, right? So it's
when
all
do you
together.
Escape business?
Huh?
When do you escape business?
We've had to establish terms around it. My wife and I are both pretty intense people, so we've had to establish terms around when we do, when we don't. Like it just still comes up. I've been married 14 years and it still comes up, right? So like we were away. We live up in Pennsylvania, so we were in the Poconos this past weekend, and I just was really agitated about things and just was trying to put something together we're buying an apartment building out in Kentucky right now. So I was trying to put a few things together for that deal. And I had to draw the line. I was like, listen, babe, I need some support from you. I need you to not allow me to talk about work. I need you to not allow me to do any work or talk about work, and just be present with you and the kids. Yeah. Right. Just be present and just draw the line and just let this be personal time. Because her and I were both really immersed in business time, and we were starting to get snarky with each other and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. We just need to be be like a married couple. And it was
Huge.
awesome. And I drew that line. We had a great dinner that night, went out for a date, and just hung out and laughed and had a great time.
That's awesome.
And like, you just got to know when it's time to throw that switch and say, you know, babe, I'm just going to be your husband right now.
Yeah.
That's it. And just have the courage to know that the work stuff will be there. It'll be waiting on you.
Absolutely.
It ain't going nowhere. You
Absolutely.
know? You don't abdicate forever, but you just got to like know when it's time to say, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm pretty blessed in that category because when I go home, the wife has nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she supports it 100%. Like so I cut a good amount of clients out of my world to leverage more time back in my world to focus on things I wanted to focus on.
Yep. 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And completely agreed with the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Huge risk. Completely agreed with it. Like support was there. But when I go home, she doesn't talk much about business. She doesn't have that business mindset. And it's almost a true turn off. Like, not I'm turned off, but like turn off from the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pretty blessed in that.
You are blessed for that.
Yeah.
I mean, but it doesn't matter whether you and your spouse are in partnership in business or not.
Sure.
It just really what matters is that you guys want the same things out of life.
That's it.
And if she's willing to maybe, you know, live lean for a minute, you know, while, you know, we build what we build,
right.
You know, and my wife's a juggernaut of her own, man. She's got her podcast for women called the Real Estate Invest Her Show. Like it's there, to create like empowerment for women. And I mean, her goal is to create wealth for women across the country.
That's awesome.
It's very inspiring. So she's inspired about what she does too. And I am too. And we just, you know, we help each other where we can, and we overlap a bit too.
Yeah,
but we also have each other's back. Yeah, you know, so.
It's huge, right? Because I talk to even my clients that your environment must support your goal. Your environment must support your goal. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So how was your first deal? Talk to me about that, right?
Well, I just talked about that. I told you about the home, right? Yeah. So we can skip that one. That was the house I lived in. On BiggerPockets, we call it a house hack, right?
Yep.
And so that was that. After that, I do not recommend what Matt Faircloth did for everyone else, but this is how it worked out. My wife and I were dating, boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. And we decided we wanted to get started in investing. And so I was living outside of Philadelphia, and there's a neighborhood in Philly called East Falls, which is a nice neighborhood, you know, kind of hip, stuff to do around it and stuff like that. So we shopped around and we found a property to buy, found a duplex. Okay. Bought the duplex, with a loan from her dad, right? So her dad loaned me and Liz $30,000 to buy our first rental property together. And so Liz and I bought it in our own personal names. Okay. I can give you all the different mistakes we made, right? Number one, took a loan from my girlfriend's father. Okay. Shit. That could go bad, right? Oh, what could go wrong there? Yeah. Right.
Well, I love that you were resourceful at the time, right? You had an idea, you wanted to invest, and you were looking for where the cash would come from. Yeah.
So I borrowed off my girlfriend's dad, bought it with my girlfriend, both in our personal names. Mistake number 2, strike 2, right? Like a week after closing, evicted one tenant. Right after that, evicted the second tenant of the duplex. Got in, cleaned it up, renovated it, bought it, but you know, up and down. Bought it for $150K. Sold it for $219 3 years later. So it made about $70,000. And turned it around, got rents up, did value add, right? Got rents up, you know, separated the heat, you know, did a bunch of work on the property, everything like that. I mean, it was a really good deal, you know, across the board. It was like a really big, like cut my teeth, you know, lesson learned. So we sold that duplex and did something called a 1031 exchange. From that into a small apartment complex we bought in Ewing when we moved to New Jersey. We got married, we moved to New Jersey. So we bought in our backyard in New Jersey and did the 1031 from that into the duplex, into 2 4 units. Right. So we turned 2 into 8.
So you didn't stick in the single family realm long.
I got into multi quick.
Yeah, you did.
I got into multi quick. I mean, we still own. I think I want to tell you, I own like 7 or 8 single family homes still. Yeah. It's funny though, Ruben, because if you look at the numbers, and I've looked at the numbers many times, there is no better investment, none, with regards from cash flow perspectives, than a single family home with a tenant that lives there long term that pays their rent on time. Yeah. Right. That is a great cash flowing asset. The reason for that is because you can get that tenant to do the maintenance. You can get that tenant to shovel the snow, cut the grass. They likely pay the water bill. It's got very little overhead.
Right. And do you believe that there's a sense of ownership because there's not necessarily someone living beside them, above them, behind them. It's it's kind of theirs.
It's theirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had friends that have had tenants that have been in the house for 15 years.
So I think I might be
their home.
Yeah, and I think I might be getting drowned by some of the gurus and stuff like that. I know. It's entered my bloodstream a little bit.
Full of shit, Ruben.
I know that.
You got this 10X shit going on around here.
Oh, yeah. You see the flag. You see the flag.
Yeah. From the salesman, the apartment building guy.
Yeah. Which everyone knows. Everyone knows, right? So
yeah.
It's
he's a hell of a salesman. I give him that.
100%.
And he's very inspiring and all that. But don't forget, he's always selling.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's not.
And it's good to learn from about how to be a good salesperson.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I'm glad you said it because all I own right now is single family.
Yeah.
But I've also been looking at multi-plus, right?
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
And it's because of those conversations that more people are having, right?
Yeah.
There's more heads, one roof, so. It's just interesting.
More expenses, more competition.
No, we don't talk about that though.
Yeah.
But no, exactly.
Everybody and their mom buying multifamily right now. Just look on Facebook, man. Shit, everybody I know is like, I just bought a multifamily.
Yeah, but I think that's a good point, and I've not yet heard that the person within, because we've had some challenges honestly with the single family, and it's ownership on my part of the tenants that have gotten put in those properties.
Who's managing it? You or them?
It's not me. And
it's a PM.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Because I was doing the best I could to make it as passive as possible. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to be the one managing it, to tell you the truth. And I sucked, by the way, because I did that in the begining. Yep. Terrible. Mm-hmm. I was terrible. Mm-hmm. So anyways, backing up. But I think that's a really good way to look at it, it is a sense of theirs when they don't have someone above them, behind them. I think you're more in a mindset of, this isn't just mine. This is Johnny's right next to me, Sally to the left of me. But when I got my own yard, my own fence, my own roof, my own kitchen. Like I think that does say a lot to that person.
It does. For the right tenant. For the right tenant, it does. For the right tenant, it does. But also remember, the average expense ratio on a multifamily is about 55%, right? Meaning for every nickel that comes in the door, every dollar that comes in the door, 55 cents of that dollar goes to pay expenses, right? On a single family home, 25 cents to 30 cents goes towards paying expenses, right? They're just lower expense, investments, right?
Right.
That said, remember how I said, like, there's no better investment than a single family home with a tenant that wants to stay there a long time, right? Once that tenant moves out, you're jacked because you're either, it's feast or famine. So a single family home can make you like $300-400 a month, $500 a month or more, right? Depending on what rent you're getting. The problem is once the tenant moves out, then you got debt service to carry, real estate taxes, all the expenses, and likely tenants can cause a lot of damage to single family homes pretty quick. So you end up investing like $4 or $5 grand to turn the apartment around, and you're going to carry like $3,000 to $4,000 to carry the unit. So it can blow out a lot of years cash flow. So I'm not saying single families are the end all be all. I'm saying they get poo-pooed on more than they should as investments.
So what do you do do you have a process to kind of do the best to eliminate that tenant that you know is going to go in there and cause trouble?
You got to screen them. You got to, for a single family home, you got to get like a head count on the amount of people that are going to be living there, you know? You got to do credit, criminal, landlord history checks, you know?
Sure.
I mean, the problem is like, you know, I believe in all that stuff, but I also believe that like everybody makes mistakes. And so if somebody got evicted or had a criminal charge from like 5 years ago, you got to make the decision on whether or not like, you know, is it worth taking this risk or whatever? And if they've kept their nose clean for the last 5 years, you know, and maybe you're okay. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is confirming income and confirming pay stubs, making sure that they make, you know, typically 3 times the rent in income is a pretty good, you know, threshold. You know, so if your rent's $1,000, making sure that they're bringing home $3,000 before taxes, and everything like that. So I mean, that's a pretty good bar to use.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, and no, like, I don't screen on zero criminal. There's a lot of people that are out there that are like saying, and it's also becoming illegal in some states to discriminate against no criminal because everybody makes mistakes, you know? But like I say no violent crime and no drugs. Right. So if you got drug activity, you know, then I'm not gonna rent to you. And I go no evictions in the last 5 years because like you could have been a stupid 22-year-old and got evicted when you were 22.
True.
And now you're 30 or something like that. And you made a mistake forever ago. And does that really prevent you from ever renting again? again. I
Right.
mean, yeah. So those are the credentials I use. But I think far and away, income stability is the biggest thing to prevent.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
And make sure they're
perfect.
not shoveling it like they're shoveling in the back door like their cousin and their aunt.
Yeah,
and
so that's
their-
what we ran into.
And like,
and they lied.
and like 8 kids and stuff like that.
yeah,
What?
application completely lied. Wasn't even them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we
That's
got,
fraud, by the way.
dude.
You could have convicted him. That's
we went
fraud.
after him,
Hmm.
but we got nothing back.
Hmm.
It was just I'm gonna roll right into.
No, I mean they broke the law.
Yeah.
That's a federal like they're well, I don't know if it's fraud.
Yeah.
Them lying on the application is
Yeah.
fraud. Yeah. But anyway.
we have no idea where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like a ghost.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump on another bandwagon,
It's
right?
okay.
Which is Airbnb.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we went through the GC stuff. Now we're gonna move to Airbnb. So again, felt the pain. I was like, you know what? I want more inspections. Let's look at more of an Airbnb type of structure. So we have more people, or we have the person going in there a lot more to check it out. I was just hurt, right? When emotion took over.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the Airbnb? Where is it going? Benefits and
I think it's an interesting model. I mean, it's a disruptor, right?
Sure.
Airbnbs are disruptors. Most disruptors are successful, you know,
Yeah.
and society
Right.
tries to squash disruptors, tries to corral them, and they eventually just accept them and try and regulate them, right?
Right.
So Uber is a disruptor. Self-driving cars are disruptors.
Sure.
And in a lot of ways, like the iPod was a disruptor, right? And just like look at that, right? If iPods just brought music from CDs down to digital music, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was they eventually figured out how to continue to change the game and make music and regulate it, but also push the business towards online music and
Right.
towards iPods, right?
Yeah.
So I think eventually the Airbnb model, or let's just call it short-term rental, because it's
Yeah.
kind of like calling
Sure.
a copy machine a Xerox, right? Like,
Right.
you know, but
Airbnb's sexy though.
Sure, no,
It's
it's a great name.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Wish I thought of it. At the end of the day, I think that it will become the new hotel.
Well,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
When you start
right.
talking,
Yeah,
And that
it's
eliminates-
the coffee. I get coffee breath,
oh yeah,
and I gotta do a thing in a bit here, you
dude,
know?
and it's fast,
So,
effective.
Yeah.
Literally, they're probably gonna sponsor me because I always bring them up.
Yeah,
Fast,
Go
effective,
Mhm.
in, out, done. Your breath's ready to go. You're not chewing on the mic in front of
Yeah, I
people.
love it.
Yeah, done.
I love
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I am very refreshed now. So people listening have no idea what we just talked about, right?
Good.
But it's okay. It's a secret. It's a little
Yeah.
secret. So,
Disruptor.
I think Airbnbs are crazy disruptors. I think that it's yet to be told exactly how successful investors are going to be in it, because some cities will be successful in pushing them out of the market
Yeah.
completely. Like they are trying to outlaw it in certain
Yeah.
cities,
Yeah.
and they're successful doing it.
Yeah.
I'm staying in an Airbnb now here in Fayetteville,
Right.
right? It's beautiful, and we're
Yeah.
getting it for a great number. It's like
What?
Huh?
How much a day?
$200.
200 a day?
200 a day
Okay.
for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a sunroom and a kitchen. And I mean, it's for 4 of us. Okay.
Right.
Are staying. And now there's no way that'd be $50 a night to stay in a hotel. And I could probably find a hotel for that around here.
Yeah.
But it probably would be like a
Right.
Roach Motel,
Yeah.
right? I mean, not that you
Be
guys
scary.
Not that you guys have
Be a
those
little
here.
scary.
Right. Yeah. It would totally be scary. But this is like a swanky little Airbnb with a couple of Bud Lights in the fridge.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
awesome.
I mean, they put beer in the fridge.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Not many.
That's
Not
awesome.
enough. Not enough beer. Just 2. How do you tease me with that? So they, I think that model will become more and more popular. We're actually, I'll tell you this, Ruben, we have a 198 unit apartment building here in Fayetteville,
Woo.
that I was at most of the day today.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine is leasing 2 of my apartments to Airbnb them. To put them on Airbnb. He got with this company and he came in, he's furnishing them, he's putting the electronic locks in the doors.
What's the
Yeah.
company?
Huh?
What's the
I
company?
don't know.
It's probably the one I'm working
Question
with.
that is, who is it?
First
Nope.
Airbnb, something
Nope.
like that.
Nope.
No.
Nope. It's some
Oh, okay.
national company.
Yeah.
Like they've got some
Oh.
national network.
Okay, cool.
So you want to talk business. That's the movement, right?
Yes.
The movement is to maybe not to be the disruptor, but to make money on the disruptors. You
Yes.
actually don't want to stick your neck out that far to be like, let me think of the next Uber, right? Forget that.
Yes.
Find a way to make the life of the people that are playing the disruptor wave easier, right?
Yes.
So there's companies that are implementing Airbnbs for this. Like my buddy is just like they're subcontracting all the furniture install for him. They're going to put the door locks in the door,
Yep.
and they're going to broker all the short-term rentals for him and everything like that. Dunzo. Are you kidding me? For like I think a $500 or $1,000 setup charge, plus he gets the furniture at cost, plus they get 25% of all rents that come in the door.
That's the same model we ran. Or not that we're running, but the one I'm using.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's sick. It's great. And it's good for him, good for us. Because
Exactly.
I have a personal guarantee on 2 leases. So my vacancy just ticked up 1 point.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or my occupancy just went up 1 point.
Yep.
And he's got a deal in Lubbock, right? He owns an Airbnb, or he subleases an Airbnb in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Okay. He's bragging to me, this guy, that the rent that he's paying in Lubbock is $700 a month. For the unit, he's renting a 2-bedroom for $700.
Right.
He just landed a 1-month tenant for $2,500.
See.
Right. So he's making $1,800 minus expenses, right? So minus the Airbnb fees, minus the whatever and everything like that. But he's got to be walking away with at least $1,000 a month in cash flow.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was another thing that interests us, right?
For what? Like all he's doing, like he didn't have to go and put up like $50,000 to go buy an apartment building or go buy a house or whatever. He put up $3,000 in security deposit.
Yeah.
Put up $5,000 to furnish the apartment.
Yeah.
$8,000,
Done.
and he's making $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
We're enjoying it right now. We're enjoying it. It's. I feel a little bit better.
How many do you have?
We have one. We have one Airbnb. It's going pretty good.
Yeah.
It's going pretty good.
I don't have any. I've yet to get into that space.
Yeah. Well, again, we got kind of pushed out. I say pushed like
it's
someone else's fault. It's my emotion that made me act. But dude, I was
You had
pissed.
you had a rental.
It was a long term.
Okay. Tenant moves out. This is the one where the people that lied on the application jacked you and stuff like that?
Dude,
okay.
Yes. First time I've ever ran into German roaches, by the way. Like, it's a legit grenade you have to throw in there, burn down the house and rebuild it to get rid of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually got rid of them. I was like, no. So we went Airbnb, and we're starting at $60 a night.
Mm-hmm.
And it is...
For how many beds?
We have 3 beds, 1 bath.
You sound short, Ruben.
Dude,
what are you doing?
Well, what we're doing... So he's got a plan. So the plan is to bring in a lot of demand, get a lot of reviews, and then we'll start jacking it up. He's got this whole thing worked out.
I got you.
Leveraged it pretty well.
He knows it. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
he's a genius. He's a genius.
He's got it going.
So what type of I'm intrigued by it, right? So like in the Airbnb we're staying in, there's kitchen supplies in the kitchen and the dining room. There's a little baby chair and stuff like that. Like they put all kinds of little finishes. The one thing that they put, which I might even give feedback, they put soap in the bathroom. They put soap.
They did.
They did not.
They did not.
They did not. They put hand soap in the bathroom. But I'm sitting here like, what am I going to take
Who
a
the
shower?
hell's going to use this?
No, when I take a shower. I want to take a shower. I correlate staying in an Airbnb to staying in a hotel. And when I stay in a hotel, I get the little shampoo bottles and the little soap. And so I correlated in the back of my little head that if I stay in this Airbnb, I'm going to get the same things I get in a hotel and more.
Right.
And 2 Bud Lights in the fridge, And like a buddy of mine has an Airbnb in Philly. He gives the tenants a bottle of wine. Puts a bottle of wine on the table.
Really? His cash flow may be pretty...
$10 bottle of wine.
Oh,
now he's getting...
okay. Oh, okay.
This is downtown Philadelphia, Rittenhouse Square, Frankie neighborhood.
Right.
He's getting $300 a night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's not getting 60. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right,
so I need to put Mad Dog in the
Go ahead.
fridge.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Right. Go ahead. They'd love it too. Right.
Yeah.
But why do you put soap in the bathroom?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
Nope.
Why not?
Because
Is this local, an Airbnb?
Yeah.
You should go over there and check it out.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out.
You should go stay. Why would you not stay in your own Airbnb?
That's a great freaking point. I've not
That's
done
a good idea.
So, by the way, I used to live in this house. I want to stay away from it as much as possible.
Why not?
But now, I guess being an investment, I need to go do that.
You should go stay there. Go experience it. See what it's like.
Great point.
What if the mattress sucks? What if the sheets are all scratchy? You don't know.
I have no idea.
What if
It's a great point.
What if the neighbors are
I bet other Airbnb owners are like, you fucking idiot, dude. You should have
already
stayed in there.
I don't know if they've done that or not either.
Point,
I mean, it's a good. I just am thinking this is a non-Airbnb owner over here. I'm not an Airbnb owner. I haven't stayed in any of my apartment buildings, so I can't really tell.
All I did was walk in. I was like, nicer shit than I used to have.
Right.
And that was it.
Nice
like,
furniture.
This will do well.
I get that. Right. It's nice and clean.
Yeah.
The Airbnb we're staying in here in Fayetteville, they went all up end on the, the finishes are funky. There's a barn door going into the bathroom on the first floor. That's wacky. I know. There's a sunroom in the back there where the TV is, and they put like some old theater equipment, like a Hollywood, take two, clip, one of those things, hanging on the wall. Like a little movie theater, right?
Yeah.
Like a little,
It's kind of nice.
They just decked it out with this funky decor. They put like 3 Keurig K-cups next to the Keurig machine.
I know we have that.
Not 19 of them, right? So not that I'm going to steal it. 3. That's what you get. That's right. That's all.
Yeah, there's a closet somewhere in there stacked.
Locked.
Filled.
That's right.
With
Better
stuff.
be.
That's what we have.
Better be. Right. Right. It should be locked. But I mean, you should look into the soap thing. Because but I don't know. I'm making it up. I don't know here's the thing. I'll turn myself in.
That's a great point. I'll do it. 100%.
Yeah. You should totally,
Yeah.
Right.
It's a great point.
So we got that figured out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So soap and I need to stay in my Airbnb. I just wanted your
I'm not telling you to bring soap. I'm just telling you the Airbnb I stayed in does not have soap.
Yeah.
What if no Airbnbs provide soap? I don't know. I've only stayed in one other Airbnb before.
Yeah. And I used to travel a lot. I always brought my own soap. So I never used the soap.
Did you stay in a lot of Airbnbs when you traveled?
No. All hotels.
So you would stay in a hotel and bring your own soap to the hotel?
You'd be surprised.
Why you do that?
Because I'm just used to traveling with it, I guess. If that makes any sense.
Because it's in your bag.
It's in my bag. I hit the gym in the morning.
Do you bring your own shampoo to the hotel also? Mm-hmm. Really?
And lotion? Whole deal.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. I'm set.
You are set.
I'm set.
You got it going on.
Yeah. I go in my Jeep, get ready for the next day, it'd be done.
You drive a Jeep?
I do drive
a Jeep.
Do you have
a Wrangler?
I do.
I got a 4-door Wrangler too. I just bought it.
I do have
I can wave to you now. Right, I can wave. Hey, wave.
Yeah.
Right, wave.
So what happens when no one waves?
I still wave. I still wave. I just bought it 2 months ago, and so I'm still
This is your first Jeep?
First Jeep.
Okay, so
yeah.
So when people start, did the salesperson tell you people were going to wave at you?
No, I put it on Facebook. I Facebooked it.
Okay.
Oh, so this is the first time it happened. I rented a Jeep. I rented a Jeep when I wanted to see if I liked it. Yeah. So I rented one. I flew into Raleigh and drove here to my apartment building here, right? So I flew into Raleigh and I went to the thrifty car rental. I was like, "Hey man, you got any for this 4-door Wranglers?" And he was like, "For you." Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, that'll be an extra like $60 a day or whatever. Right. He did. And so I'm driving and somebody waves to me. I'm like, "Hey, right? Yes. Did I know? Hey, I'm in the thing." And then I Facebook that I just bought a Jeep. And then people are like, "Get ready to wave a lot." I'm like, "I guess I get to wave a lot, people." Yep. So now I wave a lot. So tell me about the Jeep. Tell me about the Jeep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it just threw me off. I had no idea. I was like, I guess I know that person. And I just kept riding. I was like,
you didn't know.
What the hell's going on here? There's something on my Jeep.
How long have you had it?
Well, now I've had this. So I had one great business move. By the way, you tell me this is a great business move. So I had one.
Yeah.
Just traded it in this year, but I didn't buy it. My business bought it.
Sure.
So now we're going to be able to write it off or credit or whatever the CPA guy said. But
something like that, right?
Yeah, just bought it. 17 Wrangler Unlimited Sahara. We're loving it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I have been paying my vehicle expenses with my company for 10 years.
Yeah.
So well, that's the thing is I'm not one to, and this is like a big debate that I've had with other friends. They're like, well, you should put the vehicle in the company's name and insure it in the company's name and everything like that too. I don't do any of that. I just paid the bill with company income, right? The Jeep is actually in my personal name because I've got the credit, and I have found that getting corporate credit on vehicles like that, unless you're going to go buy a fleet, right? And I mean, I got my car, got my wife's car. That's it, right? So unless you're going to go buy in a fleet, the finance charges and the expense, even if you're going to lease it, is more than it is in your own personal name. Same with insurance too, or than it would be in your personal name. So I just finance it. I do everything.
Does that vary per state?
I don't know. Why? Do you own the Jeep in your own name?
No, I don't. Okay. Not anymore. The business owns it. The business bought it.
The business owns the vehicle.
Yes.
Is it financed? Or do you own it free and clear?
No, it's finance.
Okay. I mean,
CPA gave me a green light.
What are your monthly payments?
Almost 4. No, a little over 4.
Like 4 and some change?
Yeah.
Did you lay a lot of money down?
No, 0. Oh, I negotiated it.
Good for you.
That.
That's nice.
It was so good.
Done, man.
It was so good.
Well done.
So good. Yeah.
Good for you.
By the way, the business hasn't even been up and running for 2 years either.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You probably had a personal guarantee, right?
I have no idea.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know. This is what I looked into a while ago, but I mean, listen, this goes all the way back to having a business. Like my business pays my cell phone bill. My business pays everything. Like 90% of my phone calls are on my cell phone. 90% of my business or my trips in my car are for the business. Right. My CPA just doesn't let me write off all of my vehicle expense or all of my cell phone bill. He just takes like 80 to 90% of it. Yeah. And puts that on as a write off, and then takes the other 10 and writes it off as a personal benefit.
Got it. So he's got it worked out.
Yeah.
He's got it worked out.
He's got to have a good CPA.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You love the Jeep, right?
I love the Jeep.
Do you have a soft top and a hard top, or just a soft top?
I live in Fayetteville. I have a hard top.
Do you? Why no soft top?
Well, one thing
because it gets balls ass hot.
No,
down here,
one thing that freaked me out is that
because it's April and it's like 95 degrees outside already.
Too easy access. Someone could just and just jump right in. Okay, not saying that Fayetteville would support that, but I'm just saying like that. That freaked me out a little bit.
No, I'm too trusting. I work in Trenton every day, man. Yeah. I mean, people could go with the thing.
They're in.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So no, I stayed.
So everything in a Jeep's lockable, though. I mean, you kind of got to realize you're in a vehicle that could easily be accessed when you're in a Jeep.
Yeah, you know what? And I heard a good saying back in the day. By the way, we are way off. We are way off path.
This is a good conversation.
All good.
I hope people listen to this.
Yeah,
it's a good conversation.
So, I love that there's not really a structure to the podcast. Yeah. It's just good conversation. But let me go back to what was I going to say? I
don't know. Jeeps and business and write-offs and waving to people.
Damn it! It was so good.
You're trying to reel me back in.
Yeah. Try to reel me back in. Yeah. You said that. Oh, it was a great saying that said, "Fences only keep honest people out." Right, we put up a fence to keep people out, but truly it only keeps honest people out. And so when you say that,
man will jump over that fence,
or break it, or whatever.
But I mean, like that's like things like the Ring and the video cameras and stuff like that. Those are all there just to help you procure the bad guy who's still going to come on your property. That's right. And I think that assholes are going to be assholes, and they're going to try and get into your property. They're going to break in. They're going to do what they're going to do, or whatever. It's just a matter of having the measures there to take action if you need to.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. Which I never got why anybody would even ever do that here in a town where we're the home of the special operations people. Kind of nuts to break into these homes.
Everybody's armed,
Oh my, it's the most ridiculous town to do it in, but whatever. All right, but going back, so you're buying 198.
We own it. We own 100. We have 198 units here in Fayetteville that we bought a year and a half ago. Okay. I've got 166 in Kentucky. We're about to buy another 222 in Kentucky. We've got a 49 unit in Pennsylvania, and then I've got about 115 scattered around New Jersey where I got started.
Gotcha. So together, how many doors would you say?
So we're at about, before the 222 kicks in, before we close that, we'll be at about 580. Gotcha. So we'll push it just over 700. When it, I think like 780 is what we'll end up at.
Do you have a goal? Like a number of doors goal, or you just keep pumping?
Not really. We're building a pretty robust team. I've got 7 people that work on my team, and so I'm not like I'll do everything. Like take the lion's share. I'm more of like I want to get my whole team wealthy. And that my goal is to like work less, have more fun, travel. Give back, and create wealth and legacy for my family. Right. In a lot of ways, I've hit a lot of my goals, Ruben, and it's funny because my wife and I got to move into a new house. We really hit a lot of our milestones, and we're in a rebirthing in a lot of ways because now it's like, so now what, right? I got my dream house. I got my dream neighborhood. I got 2 lovely, beautiful children, I've got a thriving business. And so now what, right? And so some ways just keep it going, but also like I like having the thing to reach for, right? So in a lot of ways, my wife and I hit our 5-year goals, and we're in the middle of re-examining what we want the next 5 to look like. So it's a good question. So now what's a good question? Yeah. So
have you guys thrown anything on the table? And if so, which piece of that scares you the most?
What scares me the most? Okay. I love you. Let's see. Probably like just bit like 10xing, right? Because I know I need to do it, right? Right now we're at like 700 units. And I think that really what needs to happen is I need to build like a huge brand that's going to go to probably 5,000 to 6,000 units, right? Of multifamily. Right. That's very streamlined, very automated. That's what scares the shit out of me the most, is to build that big of a business and to go from here to here. right? That's what's scary. But I think that the life that I want and the amount of people that I can inspire and the amount of lives that I can touch in that expansion is what inspires me to do so. And I also want to write more books. I enjoy public speaking. I'm going to speak tonight here in your building. And I just enjoy just touching lives and making a difference in people's lives. And I think that by expanding to that many units, it'll give me a chance to do more give back. It'll give me a chance to to spend more of my time on things, and also just to allow real estate to help people reach their financial wealth goals. Right. Because right now, here's a stat, like there's $4 trillion in IRAs right now in the U.S. $4 trillion. Jeez. Okay. 3% of those IRAs are invested in anything else outside of Wall Street. Right. That's $120 billion is invested in anything else outside of Wall Street. Right. But it's only 3%. Yeah. Right. That's 97% crazy. Is invested in Wall Street. Wow. It's not that I don't believe in the stock market, but I do believe that there's other places that people can build their wealth. Right. Yeah. And so I want to be a conduit of people to build their wealth and build long lasting, life changing income for their families through something else outside of Wall Street. Just give me a plan B. Yeah. Right. We're
institutional, like in a way, just taught. Like, I mean, that's what I was taught at UPS. Throw it in UPS stock. Throw it in UPS stock. That's what's going to get you rich. I mean, that's what we're taught. But like,
I want people to drive past their 401ks on the way to work and say like, oh, my retirement account owns a chunk of that apartment building that Ruben owns right there. Right. That one. Right. We just helped a guy, we took ownership too, but helped a guy buy a winery in South Jersey. So like now people that I put into that deal can go and drink the wine and stay in the hotel that their retirement account helped them acquire. Right. Right. So that's awesome, man. Yeah. No, I mean, like you could say that, I own, like Aquafina is owned by Pepsi Cola, right? So if I'm drinking an Aquafina bottle of water here for those of you guys listening. So I could say that my retirement account is benefiting by me drinking this Aquafina bottle of water, but it's hard to tangibly touch it and feel it. But when there's sticks and bricks that I know that I am a part of that sticks and bricks, it's just different.
So you said that you're going to grow your brand as well with that. Yes. So what do you mean by that?
We all have a brand, don't we? You got a brand. You got a good one. Yeah, it rhymes and everything, right? I think that we all have a brand. The brand just has to do with the way the world views us, right? And it has to do with who people think we are and what they think they can count on us for, right? And so I think that the brand that I have is transparency, integrity, the YouTube thing, the work I do with BiggerPockets, what I do with the DeRosa Group. That's my company. Right. As that's part of our brand. And I want to continue to be that, but also be just an alternative place people can go to build their wealth. Right. And if I can do that and make enough differences in people's lives, that works.
So what is that? Yeah, no, I love that. And I push brands so hard because
and we all got one. Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
100%.
Your brand could be your freaking shyster, is what you are. Yep. That could be your brand. Yep. Or I don't trust that guy. That's the brand. Yeah. Or that person will never get out of their own way. That could be their brand. Right. Or you could be someone who inspires people and makes a difference in people's lives. Right. Exactly. Or make shit happen. That could be your brand.
Gotcha. No, I love that. So, and I was thinking more of a brand that can move past real estate. Yeah. And I thought that's what you were going, maybe. Yeah.
Well, it is, because I just did a winery deal with people's retirement accounts. It's not all real estate. Right. I mean, like I got a guy who's approaching me to help him work with him to put together a beer brewery. It's not all about alcohol, I guess. I don't know. I
love that.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind either. But like I want to be...
You put those beers in your future Airbnbs, by the way.
Right. I could do that in the fridge. Yep. I want to be a conduit for alternative investments, right? And so that eventually that could be all kinds of stuff. I mean, like we've even... flirted with the idea of getting into the marijuana space, because that's a whole nother wild west,
Disruptor, man. What's up with you and disruptors?
It's a disruptor, because that's pioneering. Yeah. I mean, so I think like 30, if I in a past life, 300 years ago, I was, probably a pioneer. Because I really love discovery and being on the bubble and being on the edge and just just looking to see, how society and how reality is changing by disruptors. They're really able to change the way we view things.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity there too, right? Because so many people are scared.
Yeah. We live in an amazing time where there's disruptors that are able to do shit like this. Yeah. I mean, the world's a very different place than it was 5 years ago because of disruptors. That I can walk out front. Like I could pull up my phone right now and have a car waiting to pick me up right out front right now, like an Uber. and like that possibility,
the best.
Like 10 years ago, I'd be like, Ruben, I got to call a taxi cab. Or, hey, can you give me a ride somewhere? But now that I can pull up my phone and there'll be a car right there, like when I walk out, like just
huge. Move
an amazing world. And I think that the true people are there. Like there's a lot of entrepreneurship and just captivating a lot of that. And,
right. So as your brand grows, and for you to grow to that 7,000 unit empire, and you have your brand, what is your slogan going to say to bring in more people you want to work with?
Well, right now my brand says, again, I bring it back to real estate because it's where I got started. It's always been real estate. So there'll probably be real estate involved in what I do because it's sticks and bricks. It's what we're known for, and it's what I know really well. So my brand says transforming lives through real estate because I believe that real estate as a space has the best opportunity to change lives. But the transforming lives part is what I'm really passionate about.
Right.
I want to make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And I happen to know that real estate can do that because it employs people. It helps people build wealth. It puts a roof over their head or gives them a place to go shop and work and make their living. Right.
Yeah.
Real estate reaches into people's lives on a lot of different fronts. So that's why I love it. And because also it builds a lot of wealth.
If someone listening to this loves what you're saying, right, and wants to be part of that brand, what is the type of person that you're looking to be in business with? So that way it becomes a win-win that you're also transferring their I want to say transporting. I'm
not very good at like micromanaging people, and so
So
people,
what would that
people that want to be a part of what we're doing, they would absolutely have to be a self-starter. Like I can't. I just don't have it in me to watch over people's shoulders. And the people that have failed in working with us have been ones that needed too much direction from us because I keep myself busy enough that it's hard for me to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I think the people that believe that in transforming lives, people that have a positive mental attitude, because the negative attitude is it's so toxic, man.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and so those are some of the things that I think that we want to see. But I mean, all that being said, I mean, we're not looking for anybody right now, but the biggest thing that we could use help with is finding more deals. We need help finding deals, finding money, and taking the deals we have to the promised land.
Right?
And driving them home to fruition. That's what we need help doing.
Yes.
So we're not trying to get into medical marijuana space. We're not trying to get into any other type of field at this point. We just want to expand our real estate world.
Right.
So
yeah. So it looks like this might be a great way to expand the real estate world. So talk to us about your book, Raising Private Capital.
Sure. Well, I wrote that because I raised a lot of money from a lot of people that were around my own personal network. I've probably raised, or I think it's probably around like 13 million, 14 million bucks for real estate transactions, which, we're getting there. I mean, there's people that have raised a ton more than that, but for us, it's a lot. And that's starting at 9 years ago. Right. And a lot of that money came from my personal network. Now, over the years, it's come from, working with BP and having a YouTube page and doing a bunch of other stuff and all that. But in the beginning, it was just people that I loved and trusted and liked that were right around me. You know what I'm saying? And so that book is about the premise. Like the book really says that everybody knows people with money. This book will teach you how to find it and how to manifest it and bring it to fruition and put it into your business and create win-win. Right?
Right.
Win for the investor, win for you. Right. Because there's a lot of people that say like, I don't know anybody with money. It's an easy cop out.
Yes.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
It's a total fucking cop out.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
It's but it's like you do know people with money, and you either believe in yourself enough to where you are willing to put your integrity on the line to pay them back, or you're not, or you don't believe in yourself enough to that. And then you got to look yourself in the mirror and get yourself to a point of confidence that you're able to build something that they can believe in.
Right.
That's what it really is. But the book tells you how to find people. That's what it is.
That's awesome.
And for real estate or for anything, it's really about raising capital.
Yes.
It's raising money.
Yeah. Because I think you're exactly right. A lot of people throw, as a matter of fact, not just that excuse, but plenty of other excuses on why they can't move forward in real estate investing. And I'm glad that you're able to articulate exactly what it looks like to start raising that private capital.
Yeah.
Start getting it going. Start moving forward.
It doesn't have to be like a $5 million real estate transaction either.
Right.
My first private capital deal I talk about in that book is a $50,000 real estate deal. $50 grand. And I talked to my father-in-law giving us 30. Like that was the first, like
Right.
that was the seed that got planted.
Right.
But beyond my father-in-law, the first private deal that we did with someone who wasn't a relative,
Right.
it was for $50,000.
Right.
And then we built it up from there.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So are you writing another book? I feel like you are. Hurry, answer now. And
So I got a mouthful of water. You caught me. We are working on a few books right now. I've got a few projects that I'm working on that I can't roll out yet because it's not done yet. But
which one are you most excited about?
The book that I'm writing with my wife.
Oh,
I'm writing
cool.
a book with her together, which I'm super excited about because we also believe that like strengthening the marital relationship and strengthening the husband-wife business partner relationship is so imperative for the growth of this country. It's so imperative for the health of people.
Yeah.
It's like a life-transforming, life-changing conversation that can happen. And so that's one project we're working on right now, among other things too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, man.
So you break down more of the specific conversations that you should have, what the outcome looks like out of those conversations.
Yeah, a lot of what you and I talked about already. You and I have actually touched on a lot of what we're working on.
That's awesome. So I'll make it in the book.
Huh? You will. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Proven by Ruben, chapter 3. Right. That time I sat down with Ruben on April 23rd. Right. Yeah. Right. I'll get you to sign it.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy. So, so if I could just what was that? And then I'm going to move on to some questions and then you have that class that we're going to do. But what did it take for you to move past some of those smaller multifamily complexes to your first, what was that next step, that larger, kind of step move of this, I don't know, 10, 20, 30,
step
40.
into like, okay, the big shit was stepping into a 18, that wasn't a big one. There was a step up, 18 units. We kind of like doubled our portfolio for a couple of deals in a row. Those were like little baby steps. And then we went to like 18, we went from like 10 to 18.
Right.
Like unit purchases. We had a lot more than that at the time, but those were the purchases we made. We bought an 18 unit. That was a big step up. Yeah. Then we bought an 18 unit. The next purchase after that was a 49 unit. God. That was a pretty big shit. Yeah. Then the big shit was the 49 unit to 198 unit to the one here. So that was a 4x growth.
Yeah, so it sounds like more of like a hockey stick, right?
We've been hockey sticking because we were doing an apartment building a year. Now we're doing an apartment building a quarter. What are the challenges for those giant leaps? Is it financing? That's probably one. But like, talk to me about the mindset. It's finding the deal.
The actual finding the deals.
Finding the deal. Finding the opportunity.
What's your resources on finding the deals then?
I got people that, they earn equity in the deal in exchange for finding the deal, right?
The wholesalers?
No. I don't work with wholesalers. It's hard to find wholesalers on multifamily.
Got it.
Right? Big multifamily.
Sure.
You typically work with brokers or you can solicit owners direct. Those are typically the two ways to get big multifamily.
Okay.
But there's very few wholesalers in the big multifamily space. There should be, but there's not.
Right.
I think it's a great nut to crack.
Sure.
I mean, the big brokers would be pissed at you, but I think that it's a good alternative.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the biggest challenge is finding deals, and we compensate people for helping us find opportunities and for being the point person on the deal,
right?
And that. So
before you pulled the trigger on that, was it 18 to 49?
18, 49, then 198.
Yeah. What was your thought? Like, were you just excited, 100% excited, or?
No, I was scared out of my mind. Yeah. Man. Remember I told you about the fear and everything like that. Yeah.
So I want people to know that though, because again, I think they see that it's the iceberg effect, right? They see you here, but I want them to know this. I want them to know the time, the energy, the fear, the frustration. It's like, talk to me about that.
There's a lot of that. Well, it's funny you ask. We're actually here in town now filming a documentary. I had a camera crew come in here, and all that. They're working with BiggerPockets on shooting a documentary about the day-to-day that it takes to run an apartment building.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, and not like end-all be-all, high-five everybody, and everything like that about how great things are going to be. Because I think a lot of people think that, like, I buy an apartment building and then I'm a millionaire.
Instagram cash afterwards.
Right. It's just like $1 million ATM.
Yeah.
It just spits out $1 million bills and stuff like that. It does not. It's nowhere near that. It's you buy an apartment building, work your ass off, and if you're lucky, you make a lot of money.
Yes.
The struggle is that it's in the herding cats that it takes in running an apartment building. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot that it takes to holding down a big multifamily asset. There's just so many moving parts. There's this, there's that, there's contractors, there's employees, there's the township. There's all these different things that go into running apartment complexes like that, which make them very difficult to run.
Right.
But they can be very lucrative too.
Yeah, so we know the end game, right? We know that's the best part of it is that the cash flow is there.
Yeah.
But is it just you? No, it sounds like you got a team. What are some of the things you're looking into, some of these headaches that you want to kind of get in check before actually getting it under contract and moving forward?
You got to make sure that you got the right deal. Make sure the seller didn't lie to you about too much, because they always lie. The seller's going to sweep skeletons of the closet. They're going to lie. Don't look at it. Right. No, it's good. Don't look under the bed. Come over here. Don't look under the bed, though. Anywhere else but under the bed. Right. And not in that closet. Don't look over there. Right. So at the end of the day, it's about making sure the seller's not lying to you too much, and making sure they didn't cook their books completely, and everything like that when you're under contract. But understand that the deal's going to be a red hot mess for a while when you first close. That most deals that I've bought were a shit show for the first 6 months of ownership.
Which one sticks out the most?
Of shit show?
Yeah,
the one that we got here in Fayetteville.
Really?
This building's been kicking my ass.
Yeah.
But we are finally rounding the corner. I think this building dropped to 40% occupancy. 40
after you bought it?
Yeah, we bought it at 80% occupancy. Dropped down to 40 after we.
What was the reason?
Well, there was
German roaches. Those
German roaches. That's it. Yeah. Well, we actually half the complex was actually rented by German roaches. And they stopped paying. The German roaches stopped paying.
Dang,
rent.
the German roaches.
So yeah, right.
Golly.
No, we had. I mean, almost as bad as German roaches. We had 4 active drug dealers living in the complex. We had the SWAT team come out and remove a few of them. We had sting operations. We had police officers walking around the complex posing as maintenance guys to SWAT team and stake out these guys and got them out of the complex. Then we had
did you have any idea before throwing in the offer?
What's that? That we knew it was bad. We didn't realize it was that bad.
Right.
Yeah, we knew. We were told that it was really poorly run, but we didn't realize how poorly run it really was. And so we turned around and got it performing much better. But it's just been a grind getting everything renovated and getting it back up online again.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we're almost there. We're at 62 right now, which is the break point of once we get above 70, 75, 80, then we're home free from there.
Yeah.
But I've learned a ton out of it. And, the market's really absorbing the units that we've been building out, which has been really exciting. So
awesome.
The market's been responding well to the complex, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah. So before I move to some selected questions, what had you want to even invest here in Fayetteville?
My father's from here. I named the building after my dad. Cool. It's called my father that passed away in 2010. The building's named Douglas Square. So my father, Leonard Douglas Faircloth Jr., and his dad, Leonard Douglas Faircloth Sr., actually brought. My granddad was in the Moose Lodge here. He was
cool.
Commander with the that's my granddad. In 1970, when he was the governor of the local Moose Lodge.
Left?
Yeah, all the way over on the left.
All right.
All the way on the left. That's him and my grandmother. And so I have a lot of family lineage here. Yeah. But that's not why I invested here. I can't say that. I think that's just life kind of takes you down twisty, turny roads sometimes. Right. And so that's why. And also I had familiarity with the market. I knew the Fayetteville market because of my family lineage here. That's cool. Thank you. Yeah, and so... Because of all that, we chose Fayetteville. Also because we believe that the base is actually a good asset. A lot of people are like, I don't want to invest in a military town. And in other towns in the U.S., investing in a military town is not a good idea because the base could close and the town kind of lives and dies by the base, which is true in some markets and it's true in Fayetteville as well. But that base isn't going anywhere. No. Right? Never. So. I think that's what we chose Fayetteville, and just to be straight, the rent to purchase price ratio that we saw at that complex was really, really attractive. So it was a good price, good return on investment. The base is a major employer, and there's a lot of jobs here in town that are reliant upon the base, yes, but that are C-level market jobs.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect time to jump into Fayetteville.
Yeah.
I mean, how it's growing downtown, how they're changing downtown, how we just got the woodpeckers there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this place it's just a great place to jump in now.
That's the Texans expansion team, right?
It's the
Rangers.
No. Shoot, I'm going to say it wrong. Oh my gosh. So I'm not a big
They
baseball
won
guy.
the World Series a couple years ago.
Yeah, but it's not them.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Not last year, the year before.
Who?
They won the World Series. The team that won the World Series 2 years ago.
Yes.
That's who the Woodpeckers are the...
Orioles?
Huh?
Orioles?
What? No. The
Maybe?
Orioles did not... The Orioles did not win
not win, but I
the
think
Orioles
those are
won the
ones
World Series in like 83 when I was a kid because I grew up in Baltimore and I
So,
remember.
I get called
that
out on
old.
this
What?
all the freaking time. I got to brush up
You
on
gotta
this.
Google it.
I got to brush up on this. Who owns the Woodpeckers?
Yes. Which team? They're a farm team of a
See what I mean?
larger.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, sure.
Let's
go ahead and do that. Your audience is screaming into their car right now, being like, "It's the frickin' Dodgers, you numbnuts." Yeah.
So moving on.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to throw these at you. So what do you believe separates excellent from average?
Not quitting. Easy, not quitting. Yeah. And excellent is like to get to excellent. Well, it's a lot of reasons. I believe that not quitting is a huge factor, but also like thinking bigger and having your I's dotted and T's crossed to the point where like just having that commitment to excellence instead of like, that's good enough. Because like having that mantra of, that's good enough, it can really get in your way.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of reasons.
Dude,
not quitting and and then just not having excellence as a commitment.
I agree with that. There was someone I was just listening to a few days ago, and they said that some of these employees will do the bare minimum.
Yep.
And it's like that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard is doing the bare minimum.
Yeah,
right.
Doing good enough.
What the hell is that? The bare minimum. What? That's not even a standard of the job.
I used to work with a guy that we called the bear.
Because of that?
Because he would do the bare minimum that it took to get by.
Was he a big guy?
Yes. He would kind of look like a bear. He was big and hairy. So we called him the bear.
All worked out.
And he thought we called him the bear because he was big and hairy and looked like a bear. We called him the bear because he did the bare minimum. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. So do you have a favorite failure that you believe has set you up for success?
It hasn't fully unraveled yet, but we had a shit ton of money stolen from us that we covered our investors on that money by putting them into by covering them with giving them most of my equity in this real estate in the Fayetteville deal.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Stick around tonight. I'll tell you more about it.
Okay.
It's also I gotta plug my book. It's in my book, Raising Private Capital. In the last chapter, I talk about that transaction, about what happened. So I think that will define us as those that are willing to do whatever it takes for our investors. So
yeah.
Is
that on audio? Curious.
Yes.
Is it?
It's not read by me.
Do you read it?
No.
What the hell?
I don't know. You know what, Ruben? You make mistakes sometimes in life, and I should have read the book. I'm actually not a good reader. I'm a very good public speaker, but I'm not a good reader.
Dude, that doesn't matter.
And I should have read it. It's like some kind of like, Ted Brockman sounding like, "Hi, how are you?" It's one of those kind of guys. Reading Matt's book. Did
you listen to it the whole way through?
I have not. Somebody tells me the guy coughs in chapter 4 and they don't cut it out. You douchebag.
See, you would have been fine.
I wouldn't have coughed.
You would have been fine.
Yeah. So
may have sneezed, but other than that,
maybe would have sneezed.
All right. So what have you gotten better to saying no to? Love this question.
Working on that.
Really?
I really am. No, I'm not a good at saying no to things, man. I'm really not. I got to. I think that I love new experiences. I love the attention. Like the 5-year-old that's still inside me, that's still inside all of us, loves the attention.
Sure.
And so I love to say yes to things that speak to that inner 5-year-old. And I think I need to. I think that I've got to start developing the balls to say no to stuff that isn't in my direct goal set, isn't in my funnel,
That's right.
And that. So I'm not good at saying no. And that's probably one of my things I've got to get better at. So.
Well, I will say, I think it worked out for me in this whole scenario of you not saying no.
I'm here. I didn't say no to you.
So,
I'd have been an asshole because I'm meeting speaking 10 steps down the hallway, right? That would have been a dick
I would have been
move.
there
I know, you. See, this proven by Ruben. Could have been, but didn't. Yeah.
Yep,
right.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
I would have coughed during the whole presentation.
Right.
You would have hated me.
Right.
So if you could say no to something, what would it be?
Things that don't speak directly. Things that are like flash in the pan distractions,
Right.
That movie Up?
I love Up.
Yeah, okay, cool. I have kids too, right? You have kids? Okay.
2.
So, right.
Do you have 2 girls?
I got a boy and a girl.
Okay, 2 girls.
Yeah. I had a boy and a girl and then a vasectomy. So.
Got it.
I'm done. So I up with the dog, Doug the dog, right? It's like squirrel, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that things that are squirrels, that are chases of like, oh, hey, turn my head around. Maybe that's interesting, right?
Sure.
I think that those squirrels are what we all should say no to more of, because although the squirrel might seem interesting, people call it shiny nickels, whatever, things like that are likely a distraction that are likely going to just pull you away from your long-term success.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I would think, man, you'd have to stay super hyper-focused to get to 7,000 units.
Yeah.
And a huge impact.
Yeah, I will. And build a big team and be a big motivator,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So what profession other than your own would be fun to attempt?
Oh, so I did this. I always wonder what my life would be in college if I had gone there. I did 2 things in college that I wonder where I would have gone had I gotten into it. One was being a radio DJ, because I had my own radio show when I was in college. Thank you. And I love music. People wouldn't know this, but I love music. I love like just the energy of music, and I love just popping my head to it. All kinds of stuff, like punk rock, like old school punk rock, like the Ramones and Rancid and like ska and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like old 80s music, and I love like just songs that have soul to them, that are about like just getting life going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, like even like, Taylor Swift, Shake It Off is a phenomenal song because of what she sings about. And it's about like, fuck the haters. Like, I'm going to just put my life back together. I'm going to just focus on my life, and I'm going to shake off when things don't work. I teach that song to my 5-year-old about Shake It Off,
Damn.
So it's a good song. Not every Taylor Swift song is
but
it speaks to my soul, but Shake It Off speaks to my soul. Listen to the words.
Yeah.
Man.
I stopped at the chorus.
Yeah. What's that?
I stopped at the chorus.
Yeah.
Like that's all I know about the song.
Yeah. Right. The words are great. Yeah. But anyway, the other thing was I also, I was the manager of a couple of bands in college. Then I had a few buddies of mine that had bands, and I would book them gigs and get paid by them for booking gigs for them. And I also like organized a few parties and was a promoter of not just music, but also just like big venues. And I would like make money off the ticket sales, and like, I produced events. And so I wonder where things would have gone for me had I stuck in the music business, either as a DJ or as a, because I really love the music business, and I love just music in general. So I wonder where things would have turned.
If you were to die today, could your business keep running?
Yes.
Right. So
like I would have said no 3 years ago, but yes now.
Awesome, man. Congrats. Love that. Could you do like an apartment complex once a year throwdown type of get together where you're able to get everyone together, kind of build it up and have fun? Under your brand, by the way.
Maybe, but I just, you got to watch that, because there is a certain context you got to carry with tenants, because like apartment complexes are not supposed to be places where tenants go, because we don't own those kind of apartment complexes. There are those that exist in right. That's not okay. Turn that shit off. That's not right. Yeah, okay. That's not the quiet enjoyment. Thank you. That's not the complex we're looking for, because it also draws all kinds of other elements along with it that we don't want, and stuff like that. So it's hard to mix those passions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, maybe offsite.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is a mistake you're seeing newbies do in your industry?
Getting too big too fast. Like I just got started. I want to go buy a 100-unit apartment building, and not having their why together. Like just being like, I want to go buy a 100-unit apartment building because I hate my job. If you're trying to invest in real estate because you hate your job, just go get a new job, because real estate investing is a job for a while.
Right.
So anyway, that's getting too big and not having a solid why.
Right. So what would be another example of them? Oh, where are we at?
Yeah.
What time do we start? We start in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You start at 6:30, right?
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so
let's go. This is awesome. But
what is a mistake you're seeing seasoned people do in your industry?
Chasing too many squirrels.
Yeah.
And probably letting their ego get to them. Like just probably letting it get to their head,
Right.
They're like, I got 3,000 units now. I'm unstoppable. I'm bulletproof or whatever it is, you know? So I think that just not realizing those things, like not realizing where you came from,
right.
you know, and just letting it get to their head, their success.
Yes.
So,
yes. So we're going to stop it there because you got like 10 minutes to get to where you need to go. Where can they find you?
DeRosaGroup.com, DeRosaGroup.com. DeRosaGroup.com is my company website. On that website, they can buy my book. They can, you know, learn more about investing with us. They can check out my YouTube page. They can check out my wife's podcast, the Real Estate Invest Her Show.
Love it.
All that stuff is there at DeRosaGroup.com.
Awesome, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time out. Maybe we got 10 minutes. We're going to run up there. We're going to drink some beer. We're going to keep this thing going, man. I really appreciate your time.
Ruben, this has been awesome. You were a great interviewer, and thanks
sir.
for letting me pull you off the rails for some just random ass conversation about Jeeps and shit like that. But
love it.
I really just felt like you was just two guys just sitting on the couch bullshitting over a couple of beers. So
100%.
thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.